This week, thousands of Generation Z school leavers received disappointing A-level grades after they were marked down by exam regulators to counteract a sharp rise in top grades over recent years. This was after being denied an education for the best part of 2 years under COVID lockdown regulations. On the surface, it feels like these young people have been given the worst possible start in life through absolutely no fault of their own. And yet, if their lower than anticipated A-level grades dissuade them from going to university, then that might be the best decision they've ever made. The higher education system in the UK has been a complete swindle for the last 2 decades. Tony Blair's stated ambition after his election in 1997 was that he wanted at least half of school leavers to attend university. In the years that followed, we saw the normalisation of higher education. It became the expectation, the assumption that young people would go from school to university. And there was a stigma attached to not going, as if those young people who rejected higher education were throwing their lives away. In fact, the reverse was true. 18-year-olds who couldn't have been expected to know any better were conned into taking on tens of thousands of pounds worth of debt to do degrees that would prove absolutely useless in the job market, like film studies, sociology, communications, art history, English literature, events management, leisure and hospitality. The list goes on. Keeping young people out of the job market proved a great way of keeping unemployment figures low, and academia became big business, with university chancellors pocketing huge salaries and what had formerly been run-down polytechnics suddenly becoming wealthy, well-resourced, legitimised institutions all across the country. The most intellectually gifted and hard-working school leavers finally entered the real world 3 or 4 years later, saddled with debt, with no quantifiable job skills, with the vague sense that they'd been conned. School leavers of today are much more savvy. They have access to information instantly through their smartphones. They know the higher education system is a corrupt one, all too ready to make a victim of them. We're now witnessing a generation of school leavers who are oversensitive and risk averse, wary of being exploited. A generation of young people that know they can't trust their elders to guide them and protect them in life, because glaring corruption exists not just in our universities. Obvious corruption exists in our political system and our tech industries, with hard left-wing social media platform Twitter suppressing the almost certainly ruinous Hunter Biden laptop story because they didn't want Trump winning the 2020 election, sabotaging the democratic processes that are the foundation stone of our civilization. Any 18-year-old with a smartphone and a Wi-Fi connection can see dark forces of corruption at play at every level of society. And this is the world they're about to take their first steps out into. And we wonder why they disappear into an inner world of self-absorption, a world of obsessively trying to define their own identity and assert their chosen personal pronouns. We've infected an entire generation of young people with the mental illness of wokeness. We created that monster and now it's trying to eat us. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to my Patreon by clicking the link below this video.